If you correspond with Ralf on television, video, or telephone, audio, or you chat, text, or email him, you're giving him permission to duplicate it, rebroadcast it on any of the Take Your Life Back Today show broadcasts.
Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides of life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP.
His name is Ralf Friedrichs, board certified optician, age 55, sober since June 22, 2013, sober for 3 years and amp 237 days, published article on www.sobernation.com last September 2017. What it was like? Life as a drunk was like living at the bottom of a bottle, always looking up and never finding a way out. That was up until June 22, 2013, when I looked up and saw light shining through the neck of that bottle. The light shone so bright that I extended my hand and grabbed the light. It was then I felt as if the light put itself in reverse and pulled my up and out completely out of the bottle. What happened? After I hit rock bottom, I knew only one thing: I needed to change my life. I attended a few AA meetings, but they were not good for me. I needed more involvement in my sobriety, 24/7. Sobriety is what I needed. I started to study books, and then suddenly, like the light that shined into the bottle, God extended his hand and said, "Follow me," and I did that. He blessed me with an idea that would shape my new sober life. What it is like now. I took God's idea, turned that idea into my first website, www.clearviews.info, then my second website, takeyourlifebacktodayshow.com. I then created my show called Take Your Life Back Today Show, taping over 1,700 videos. The name of my show is based on getting my life back. As time went by, over 26 rehab centers have my videos playing on their sites. I have been guests on other shows. I have interviewed many folks as time went on. In a nutshell, sobriety has given me a new lease on life, and God has given me chance to help others through my show. Of alcohol abuse, learning to live sober was a bit of a challenge for me, and I didn't really know if I could live the life of sobriety. When I decided to yell last call with my drinking over 2.5 years ago, I said to myself, enough is enough, and reached out to God for guidance and direction. I sat down, took a deep hard look at my life and my past and present situation, and knew I needed to take my life back, with the help of God. I started to think of the positives and negatives of alcohol, and found only negatives. I knew that now is the time for change. I planned a battle plan for my recovery. God led me to a few AA meetings. After a few meetings, I knew I needed to be more actively involved in my recovery. It was then that I realized what God wanted to continue what He began in 1981 in the USMC. In 1981, God guided me to become a lay reader during boot camp. I directly worked with the chaplain, helping others through tough times, but back then it never dawned on me that God had a plan that would only become real in 2013, when I was ready, when I hit rock bottom, when I needed God to help me. I knew it was here, now, and on June 22, 2013, God helped me to take my life back. It was then that I realized how to start my own recovery methods, a simple concept, learning and educating myself as I move forward in my recovery. My first website, www.clearviews.info, then my second website, www.takeyourlifebacktodayShow.com. I have hosted over 1650 shows. My methods truly work for one reason: because I am actively involved with my addiction, and making sure I am involved in your addiction also 10 to 15 hours daily, 24/7. Here are some things I do daily: visiting addicts in homeless shelters, hospitals and jails, help addicts find a job, rehab, exchanging phone numbers, providing websites that focus on recovery. In 2011, at the age of 49, I started to feel much more mature. I started to think differently, getting rid of old habits, and wanting to make positive changes in my life. However, the positive changes could not happen until the gates of demons were closed. I call this my rock bottom. In 2013, I not only closed the gates, but I padlocked them shut forever. So, now that I see things clearly, drinking is not even a choice. It would be too painful to ever start again. I have learned from the past, left it behind me, and intentionally created a positive future. Part of that future is educating myself about my disease, how to live with it, and help others live it too. I want to help others see, feel, and experience sobriety, life without alcohol and drugs. As I approached different addiction educating methods, videos became a passion. Videos give you all a face, a voice, and a story, while helping all watching to understand this disease. My story will continue through the camera into your living room, kitchen, and anywhere else you might be watching me. Join me in the fight of the lifetime. Together we will. Wow, I can't even believe I'm saying this. If you're hearing this, it's because I made it. I made it to over 3 full years without alcohol. On June 22, 2013, I took my last drink. I will never forget how it felt. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of being the party guy. I was tired of feeling like poop. Was tired of disappointing and embarrassing my friends and loved ones. I decided I needed a big change. Trying to drink in moderation hadn't proved to be the best option for me. It never worked. Enough was enough. I tried something that I never did before. Stop drinking alcohol completely. When I started this sober journey, I wasn't sure how long it would last, and now I can't imagine going back to how my life was before. The positives have been plentiful and the negatives have been slim to none. Here's what I've learned in my years without alcohol. 1. My senses are heightened 100 times. Wow, I feel everything with a noticeable heightened sensitivity. This includes emotions, muscle pain, my sense of smell, hearing and taste. My nose is so sensitive to smells. I am always saying it smells like in here, or whoa, it smells so strong. My emotions are crazy. Sometimes I think this is what it must feel like to be pregnant. I cry at the drop of a hat, I'm offended easily, and sometimes I am so happy I feel like I'm going to burst. I actually care what people think about me. I know, those of you who know me are now saying, who are you and what have you done with Ralf? This feeling everything thing can be extremely overwhelming at times, but I've never felt something so amazing. 2. I'm just beginning to understand who I really am. I've been learning that there are things I thought I liked that I really don't like, and things I like that I never knew I did. I'm learning how to socialize and be myself with friends and family without the crutch of alcohol. I learned that waking up on the weekend without a hangover, having a cup of coffee and going for a run is exactly what I want to be doing. I'm learning that person who was under the cloud of constant alcohol blackouts for the last several years was not me. I am not the stupid, embarrassing things I did. I am a real person who does not mix well with alcohol. 3. Alcohol was not fun for me anymore. I had been trying and failing for years to regulate my drinking. I'm only going to drink 2, okay, 3, just on the weekends. It never worked, and I finally figured out why. I'm not a person who can ingest alcohol. It started out as a fun, social thing for me years ago, but last year, I realized that it wasn't fun anymore. In fact, it was the root of any type of problem I had. Bad things happened to me when I drank, and I should have wanted to stop sooner than I did. 4. My wife is manageable. When actively drinking, my wife was a hot mess, and I was comfortable that way. I fought through the scary first days and months of not drinking, and now, being sober is my normal. I'm so glad it is. Bad things would happen in the past, and I always felt like it was the end of the world and drinking was the answer to everything. Now, I feel more prepared. If something bad were to happen, I am able to handle it in a healthy way. Additionally, less bad things have happened since I stopped drinking alcohol, which was the cause of many problems in the past. I am now present and thankful for each day. 5. I am worthy of love. I'm positive I have been sabotaging my romantic relationship for a long time. Why? Now that might take years to find out, but the drinking just helped fuel this problem. It supported, encouraged, and justified bad decisions of all kinds, especially those related to men. What I didn't realize until the drinking stopped was that I am capable of being in a normal relationship, and I do in fact deserve to be loved. You see, I had this way of thinking that since I was screwed up, I was meant to be in a screwed up relationship I created. Now I know that is crazy talk. I am lucky enough to be in a loving, healthy relationship with an amazing wife who has helped show me that I deserve all the love in the world, and I am finally starting to believe it. 6. Toxic people are just like toxic habits. This is a big one for me. Obviously, when you stop drinking or doing drugs, you probably need to change some friends you hang out with. I definitely had to do this, and I realized just how little I had in common with some people. I also realized that I had friends who were completely different from me, without the same goals and outlook on life. It felt all too fake. When you make a big life decision like admitting you have an alcohol problem and decide to stop drinking, you really find out who your true friends are. There are those people who will love you unconditionally, those who won't bat an eyelash when you stop drinking, and those who will still offer you cocktails after they already know you don't drink. I've encountered all of the above. Getting rid of my toxic friendships along with my toxic habits just makes sense, and I'm learning not to feel bad about it. 7. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. Stopping a nasty habit like alcohol abuse can bring out a lot of guilt, shame, and regret. I'd be lying if I said I haven't felt all of the above at times. However, I am realizing feeling all the emotions I spent years trying to numb is actually a beautiful thing. Not only am I learning to feel them, I'm learning how to deal with them and live a healthy and successful life. I have made mistakes along the way, and I will never be perfect. Every day, I have to make a conscious decision not to beat myself up. I am a work in progress, and I have come a long way. There are good days and bad days. Sometimes, I feel like life isn't fair and I wish I could just drink alcohol normally like everyone else. Mostly, I have accepted that this is the way my life is, kind of like having 3 knee surgeries. Quitting alcohol has become one of my stories of perseverance. I never thought that sobriety would be my preferred way of life, but now I can't imagine going back to my party girl ways. I never dreamed I would feel as so happy, full and healthy living a life without drugs and alcohol. I was always that girl who needed alcohol to have fun, and now I am a testament to the fact that you don't need it to enjoy yourself. I wake up every day feeling relieved that I never have to feel hungover. I hope that by sharing my story, other party girls and boys will have the courage to put down the drink and live the life they have always imagined. The best is yet to come. Call 1-844-405-HELP or go to www.takeyourlifebacktoday.show.com and functions I specialize in. The first is as an addiction recovery coach. A recovery coach is a professional sober life coach. This is someone who guides and supports a person in recovery from addiction and helps prevent relapses. The goal of a recovery coach is to be actively involved in the life of a recovering addict in order to prevent a relapse from happening. Once I became certified and have been a recovery coach, a sober recovery coach for over 1 year. I certified also as a life coach. Each day I practice both, because one feeds the other. Here is what life coaching is. Life coaching is a powerful methodology designed to take you from where you are today to where you want to be. The speed and ease with which you can reach your goals and grow in life is accelerated when you work with a coach. When considering a particular area of life, be it career, family, relationships, health, and so on, individuals fall into one of 5 camps. 1. I don't know what I want. 2. I know what I want, but don't know how to get it. 3. I know what I want, and how to get it, but something keeps holding me back. 4. I know what I want, how to get it, and I'm motivated and on track. And 5. I know what I want and I've already got it. The life coaching process is most relevant and beneficial for those people falling into the first 3 camps above. A fundamental principle behind coaching is that each person knows best what they want. Friends, regardless of how well they may know you or whether they have your best interests at heart, still see your life from their perspective. Parents, mentors, counselors and the like bring to the table their experiences and advise you on what you should do based on that. However, what may be relevant and important to them may not always be equally so for you. Call it gut feel, intuition, or a hunch. You generally do know what you want or don't want at some level. It may not be at a conscious level, or, worse yet, it may be well hidden, but at your very core you do know. An effective life coach is one who is able to help you access your own inner knowledge. In doing so, you establish what you really want in a particular scenario. The coaching techniques employed to do this vary from person to person and range from asking powerful open-ended questions and creative visualization to considering the same subject from a variety of different perspectives. Once you've established what you want, life coaching aims to increase your resourcefulness to figure out how you can get it. Again, you know best what your capabilities are and where you might need help. An effective life coach at this stage challenges and supports you to define the concrete, realistic steps you need to take going forward, helping you clarify what your internal resources are and what you still need, as well as which things that are within or outside your control is one of the most useful functions of a coach. Maintaining your self-confidence and motivation to do something you know is important to you is often the most challenging stage in the process. When there are no hurdles and the value of what you are pursuing is high, it's much easier to motivate yourself. Sadly, such situations are rare. Things will not always go your way and sometimes obstacles may seem insurmountable. During this stage, the role of a life coach is to keep you focused on your goal and to reinforce why it's important to you. Your resourcefulness often needs to be increased to deal with your challenges, and your state of mind needs to be kept calm and confident to cope effectively. An effective life coach will support you with both these tasks. People who are attracted to coaching are often already successful in some areas of their life. They want to take their success to a new level and breathe life into those areas that are not working as well as they could be. If you can see such a gap in your own life, and particularly if it's an uncomfortably large one that's been lingering around for a while, perhaps now is the time to take the first step toward closing it. If you would like to know more about life coaching or want to try it out, please contact me at 1-844-405-HELP or go to www.takeyourlifebacktoday. Doctor, counselor, therapist, or a sponsor. I am a master addiction recovery coach that is recovering from alcoholism. For that reason, I know what you or your loved ones are going through. I never address past issues. Instead, I focus on today and moving ahead so positive changes can happen in your life while you have a smooth transition into recovery. Recovery coaching is often used concurrently with therapy and counseling, and it should never be considered a substitute. Recovery coaching ethics and guidelines require that if you are primarily seeking relief from emotional or psychological pain, I must and will refer you to a therapist or counselor. As a master addiction recovery coach, I can answer questions, offer reflections, and help my clients become resourceful and capable of choosing what is best for them in recovery over time. I believe in and support every client I work with, and I am here to make sure that everyone I work with has continued success in their recovery. I am the bridge between a bad today and a better tomorrow. Put your shoes way under the bed at night so that you gotta get on your knees in the morning to find them. And while you're down there, thank God for grace and mercy and understanding. We all fall short of the glory. We all got plenty. If you just start thinking of all the things you've got to say thank you for, that's a day. That's easily a day. Focus on using your gifts for something meaningful and not get carried away with amassing earthly riches. Remember, you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. Now I've been blessed to make a good life, good paychecks, nice things to show for, but I can't take it with me, and neither can you. It's not how much you have but what you do with what you have. Call me at 1-844-405-HELP or go to www.takeyourlifebacktoday. too. That's a part of it. If you're looking for more money, more love, more success, or more impact, you always have to manage the stress, obligations, commitments, and criticism that come along with all of it. When you want more, you get more of everything. I think a role model is a mentor, someone you see on a daily basis, and you learn from them. Who are you learning from? Who are you studying? What kind of people are you building relationships with? I'd be more frightened by not using whatever abilities I've been given. I'd be more frightened by procrastination and laziness. Are you doing what you are truly capable of? Will you be able to live with the regret if you don't? What scares you the most about going for it? My mother used to tell me, man gives the award, God gives the reward. I don't need another plaque. Believe that what you are doing is bigger than yourself, and you will find an irreplaceable peace. The time to worrying about flying is when you're on the ground. When you're up in the air, it's too late. No point in worrying about it then. We are able to be in our flow when we are well prepared and in the moment. Allow yourself to be in the flow of things with great preparation and a strong sense of ease and belonging. That is what you scan, control. Luck is where opportunity meets preparation. What are you preparing for? Are you preparing for your greatest achievement, whatever that may be? If I am a cup maker, I'm interested in making the best cup I possibly can. My effort goes into that cup, not what people think about it. Focus on what you are doing, and not the critics. Critics never made history, and critics never made anyone's life better. Focus on adding value in your own unique, special way. I made a commitment to completely cut out drinking and anything that might hamper me from getting my mind and body together. And the floodgates of goodness have opened upon me, spiritually and financially. What decisions have you made lately about what you put into your body? Do you treat your body like a Ferrari, only putting in high-octane gas, or like a hoopty, where it doesn't matter what you put in there since it never goes about 20 miles per hour, demonstrated by his actions how very vital it is, more than anything else, to understand and appreciate the people who work with you. Do your job well, learn your job well, but always remember that the people you work with are your most valuable asset. Embrace them, honor them, respect them. What it taught me was forgiveness. It taught me that when people present themselves in a certain way, there's probably some backstory or issue or reason for the way that they are. It's not you. It's them. And a lot of times, it's about something that's completely out of their control. When I was a child, I thought I saw an angel. It had wings and kinda looked like my sister. I opened the door so some light could come into the room, and it sort of faded away. My mother said it was probably my guardian angel. We've all received our share of good fortune, so that's my definition of much. A single blessing is all the bounty in the world, and if you've been blessed at all, you're meant to pass some of that on. You're meant to set a positive example. That's our responsibility. Call Ralf Friedrichs at 1-844-405-HELP or go to www.takeyourlifebacktoday. You said no. Okay, Take the Drug Addiction Quiz is designed to provide you an idea of whether a drug addiction or drug abuse problem exists. The Drug Addiction Quiz is not perfect, and the Drug Addiction Quiz should only be seen as a guide. Take the Drug Addiction Quiz honestly and with an open mind. Do you ever use drugs for something other than a medical reason? Yes, no. When you use drugs, do you use more than one drug at a time? Yes, no. Do you use drugs more than once per week? Yes, no. Have you abused prescription drugs before? Yes, no. Have you ever tried to stop using drugs but couldn't stay stopped? Yes, no. Do you ever feel ashamed or guilty after using drugs? Yes, no. Has your relationships with friends become distant? Yes, no. Do you spend less time with your family and more time with drugging friends? Yes, no. Has your family or friends talked to you about your drug use? Yes, no. Do your family members or friends ever complain about your drug use? Yes, no. While under the influence of drugs, have you gotten into fights with other people? Yes, no. Has you ever lost a job due to coming in late, mistakes, or poor work performance due to drug use? Yes, no. Has your drug use caused problems or gotten you into trouble at your workplace? Yes, no. Have you been arrested for illegal drug possession? Yes, no. Do you participate in illegal activities in order to get your drugs? Yes, no. When you stop taking your drug, do you experience any withdrawal symptoms or feel sick? Yes, no. Has your drug use ever resulted in blackouts? Yes, no. Have you ever had medical problems such as memory loss, hepatitis, convulsions, bleeding, etc. as a result of your drug use? Yes, no. Have you ever looked for or received help for a drug problem? Yes, no. Have you been in any type of treatment for drug use? Yes, no. If you answered yes to more than 5 of the questions on the drug addiction quiz, you may have a problem. See a professional and bring a copy of the drug addiction quiz with you or call us at 1-844-405 help with the answers to the drug addiction quiz. If you require help, we can find you treatment anywhere in the country. Call 1-844-405. To drugs? You said no. Okay, Take the Drug Addiction Quiz is designed to provide you an idea of whether a drug addiction or drug abuse problem exists. The Drug Addiction Quiz is not perfect, and the Drug Addiction Quiz should only be seen as a guide. Take the Drug Addiction Quiz honestly and with an open mind. Do you ever use drugs for something other than a medical reason? Yes, no. When you use drugs, do you use more than one drug at a time? Yes, no. Do you use drugs more than once per week? Yes, no. Have you abused prescription drugs before? Yes, no. Have you ever tried to stop using drugs but couldn't stay stopped? Yes, no. Do you ever feel ashamed or guilty after using drugs? Yes, no. Has your relationships with friends become distant? Yes, no. Do you spend less time with your family and more time with drugging friends? Yes, no. Has your family or friends talked to you about your drug use? Yes, no. Do your family members or friends ever complain about your drug use? Yes, no. While under the influence of drugs, have you gotten into fights with other people? Yes, no. Has you ever lost a job due to coming in late, mistakes, or poor work performance due to drug use? Yes, no. Has your drug use caused problems or gotten you into trouble at your workplace? Yes, no. Have you been arrested for illegal drug possession? Yes, no. Do you participate in illegal activities in order to get your drugs? Yes, no. When you stop taking your drug, do you experience any withdrawal symptoms or feel sick? Yes, no. Has your drug use ever resulted in blackouts? Yes, no. Have you ever had medical problems such as memory loss, hepatitis, convulsions, bleeding, etc. as a result of your drug use? Yes, no. Have you ever looked for or received help for a drug problem? Yes, no. Have you been in any type of treatment for drug use? Yes, no. If you answered yes to more than 5 of the questions on the drug addiction quiz, you may have a problem. See a professional and bring a copy of the drug addiction quiz with you or call us at 1-844-405 help with the answers to the drug addiction quiz. If you require help, we can find you treatment anywhere in the country. Call 1-485. How do you feel today? Feeling low? Let's understand low self-esteem. What causes low self-esteem? The beliefs you have about yourself often appear to be statements of fact, although actually they're really only opinions. They are based on the experiences you've had in life, and the messages that these experiences have given you about the kind of person you are. If your experiences have been negative, your beliefs about yourself are likely to be negative too. Crucial experiences that help to form our beliefs about ourselves often, although not always, occur early in life. What you saw, heard and experienced in childhood, in your family, in the wider community and at school, will have influenced the way you see yourself. Examples of early experiences that could lead to your thinking badly of yourself include systematic punishment, neglect or abuse, failing to meet parental standards, failing to meet peer group standards, being on the receiving end of other people's stress or distress, belonging to a family or social group that other people are prejudiced towards, an absence of praise, warmth, affection or interest, being the odd one out at home or at school. Sometimes negative beliefs about yourself are caused by experiences later in life, such as workplace bullying or intimidation, abusive relationships, persistent stress or hardship, or traumatic events. The bottom line: as we grow up, we take the voices of people who were significant to us with us. We may criticize ourselves in their sharp tones, and make the same comparisons with other people that they did. Our experiences create a foundation for general conclusions about ourselves, judgments about ourselves as people. We can call these conclusions the bottom line. The bottom line is the negative view of the self that lies at the heart of low self-esteem. Because the bottom line is usually formed in childhood, it is usually biased and inaccurate, because it is based on a child's eye view. It is likely to be formed on the basis of misunderstandings about experiences, because you had no adult knowledge with which to understand properly what was going on. Although these beliefs may be unhelpful or outdated now, they come from a time when they made perfect sense, given what you were experiencing then. Biased thinking: once the bottom line is in place, it becomes increasingly difficult to question it. This is because it is maintained and strengthened by biased thinking, which means you give weight to anything that is consistent with your beliefs, and discount anything that is not. Two thinking biases contribute to low self-esteem: biased perception and biased interpretation. Biased perception means that you are swift to spot anything that fits with your negative ideas about yourself, and you screen out anything that contradicts them. So you focus on what you do wrong, and ignore what you do right. Biased interpretation means that you distort the meanings you attach to what you experience, even if the experience is positive. So if someone compliments you on your appearance, you might think they meant that you must have been looking unattractive before, or that they didn't mean what they said and were just trying to be nice. These biases operate together to keep the bottom line in place. You anticipate that things will turn out badly, and this makes you sensitive to any sign that they are turning out the way you expected. Also, no matter how things turn out, you are likely to interpret them negatively. This means that your memories of your ongoing experiences will also be negatively biased. Negative beliefs about the self are a bit like prejudices, beliefs that don't take account of all the facts but rely on biased evidence for their support. Rules for living: the bottom line leads to the development of rules for living, strategies for dealing with life on the assumption that the bottom line is true. Rules for living enable you to function in the world, as long as you obey the rules. So, for example, if you have the negative belief "I am stupid," your rule for living might be better not to try than to fail. The problem with rules for living, however, is that, paradoxically, they also help to reinforce the bottom line. Call me at the Take Your Life Back Today show, 844- What is depression? What causes depression? What are the signs and symptoms of depression? Does depression look the same in everyone? How is depression treated? How can I help myself if I am depressed? How can I help a loved one who is depressed? Where can I go for help? If you or someone you know is in crisis, get help quickly. Do you feel sad? empty, and hopeless most of the day, nearly every day? Have you lost interest or pleasure in your hobbies or being with friends and family? Are you having trouble sleeping, eating, and functioning? If you have felt this way for at least 2 weeks, you may have depression, a serious but treatable mood disorder. What is depression? Everyone feels sad or low, sometimes, but these feelings usually pass with a little time. Depression, also called clinical depression, or a depressive disorder, is a mood disorder that causes distressing symptoms that affect how you feel, think, and handle daily activities, such as sleeping, eating, or working. To be diagnosed with depression, symptoms must be present most of the day, nearly every day for at least 2 weeks. What are the different types of depression? 2 of the most common forms of depression are major depression, having symptoms of depression most of the day, nearly every day for at least 2 weeks that interfere with your ability to work, sleep, study, eat, and enjoy life. An episode can occur only once in a person's lifetime, but more often, a person has several episodes. Persistent depressive disorder, dysthymia, having symptoms of depression that last for at least 2 years. A person diagnosed with this form of depression may have episodes of major depression along with periods of less severe symptoms. Some forms of depression are slightly different, or they may develop under unique circumstances, such as perinatal depression. Women with perinatal depression experience full-blown major depression during pregnancy or after delivery, postpartum depression. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD. SAD is a type of depression that comes and goes with the seasons, typically starting in the late fall and early winter and going away during the spring and summer. Psychotic depression. This type of depression occurs when a person has severe depression plus some form of psychosis, such as having disturbing false fixed beliefs, delusions, or hearing or seeing upsetting things that others cannot hear or see, hallucinations. Other examples of depressive disorders include disruptive mood dysregulation disorder diagnosed in children and adolescents, and premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Depression can also be one phase of bipolar disorder, formerly called manic depression. But a person with bipolar disorder also experiences extreme high, euphoric or irritable moods called mania, or a less severe form called hypomania. You can learn more about these disorders on the National Institute of Mental Health, NIMH's website, www.nimh.gov. What causes depression? Scientists at NIMH and across the country are studying the causes of depression. Research suggests that a combination of genetic, biological, environmental, and psychological factors play a role in depression. Depression can occur along with other serious illnesses, such as diabetes, cancer, heart disease, and Parkinson's disease. Depression can make these conditions worse and vice versa. Sometimes medications taken for these illnesses may cause side effects that contribute to depression symptoms. For more information on ongoing research on depression, visit www.nimh.gov. What are the signs and symptoms of depression? Sadness is only one small part of depression, and some people with depression may not feel sadness at all. Different people have different symptoms. Some symptoms of depression include persistent sad, anxious, or empty mood, feelings of hopelessness or pessimism, feelings of guilt, worthlessness, or helplessness, loss of interest or pleasure in hobbies or activities, decreased energy, fatigue, or being slowed down, difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions, difficulty sleeping, early morning awakening, or oversleeping, appetite and or weight changes, thoughts of death, or suicide attempts, restlessness or irritability, aches or pains, headaches, cramps, or digestive problems without a clear physical cause and or that do not ease even with treatment. Does depression look the same in everyone? No. Depression affects different people in different ways. For example, women have depression more often than men. Biological, life cycle, and hormonal factors that are unique to women may be linked to their higher depression rate. Women with depression typically have symptoms of sadness, worthlessness, and guilt. Men with depression are more likely to be very tired, irritable, and sometimes angry. They may lose interest in work or activities they once enjoyed, have sleep problems, and behave recklessly, including the misuse of drugs or alcohol. Many men do not recognize their depression and fail to seek help. Older adults with depression may have less obvious symptoms, or they may be less likely to admit to feelings of sadness or grief. They are also more likely to have medical conditions, such as heart disease, which may cause or contribute to depression. Younger children with depression may pretend to be sick, refuse to go to school, cling to a parent, or worry that a parent may die. Older children and teens with depression may get into trouble at school, sulk, and be irritable. Teens with depression may have symptoms of other disorders, such as anxiety, eating disorders, or substance abuse. How is depression treated? The first step in getting the right treatment is to visit a healthcare provider or mental health professional, such as a psychiatrist or psychologist. Your healthcare provider can do an exam, interview, and lab tests to rule out other health conditions that may have the same symptoms as depression. Once diagnosed, depression can be treated with medications, psychotherapy, or a combination of the two. If these treatments do not reduce symptoms, brain stimulation therapy may be another treatment option to explore. Medications called antidepressants can work well to treat depression. They can take 2 to 4 weeks to work. Antidepressants can have side effects, but many side effects may lessen over time. Talk to your healthcare provider about any side effects that you have. Do not stop taking your antidepressant without first talking to your healthcare provider. Please note, although antidepressants can be effective for many people, they may present serious risks to some, especially children, teens, and young adults. Antidepressants may cause some people, especially those who become agitated when they first start taking the medication and, before it begins to work, to have suicidal thoughts or make suicide attempts. Anyone taking antidepressants should be monitored closely, especially when they first start taking them. For most people, though, the risks of untreated depression far outweigh those of antidepressant medications when they are used under a doctor's careful supervision. Information about medications changes frequently. Visit the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, website for the latest warnings, patient medication guides, or newly approved medications. Psychotherapy helps by teaching new ways of thinking and behaving, and changing habits that may be contributing to depression. Therapy can help you understand and work through difficult relationships or situations that may be causing your depression or making it worse. Brain stimulation therapies, electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, and other brain stimulation therapies may be an option for people with severe depression who do not respond to antidepressant medications. ECT is the best studied brain stimulation therapy and has the longest history of use. Other stimulation therapies discussed here are newer, and in some cases still experimental methods. For more information on these treatment options, visit www.nimh.gov. To find clinical trials, visit www.clinicaltrials.gov. How can I help myself if I am depressed? As you continue treatment, you may start to feel better gradually. Remember that if you are taking an antidepressant, it may take 2 to 4 weeks to start working. Try to do things that you used to enjoy. Go easy on yourself. Other things that may help include trying to be active and exercise, breaking up large tasks into small ones, set priorities, and do what you can as you can, spending time with other people and confide in a trusted friend or relative, postponing important life decisions until you feel better. Discuss decisions with others who know you well, avoiding self-medication with alcohol or with drugs not prescribed for you. How can I help myself if I am depressed? As you continue treatment, gradually you will start to feel better. Remember that if you are taking an antidepressant, it may take several weeks for it to start working. Try to do things that you used to enjoy before you had depression. Go easy on yourself. Other things that may help include breaking up large tasks into small ones and doing what you can as you can. Try not to do too many things at once. Spending time with other people and talking to a friend or relative about your feelings. Once you have a treatment plan, try to stick to it. It will take time for treatment to work. Do not make important life decisions until you feel better. Discuss decisions with others who know you well. How can I help a loved one who is depressed? If you know someone who has depression, first help him or her see a healthcare provider or mental health professional. You can also offer support, understanding, patience, and encouragement. Never ignore comments about suicide, and report them to your loved one's healthcare provider or therapist. Invite him or her out for walks, outings, and other activities. Help him or her adhere to the treatment plan, such as setting reminders to take prescribed medications. Help him or her by ensuring that he or she has transportation to therapy appointments. Remind him or her that, with time and treatment, the depression will lift. Where can I go for help? If you are unsure where to go for help, ask your health provider or check out the NIMH Help for Mental Illnesses webpage at www.nimh.gov/help. Another federal health agency, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, maintains an online behavioral health treatment services locator at https://findreatment.samhsa.gov/. You can also check online for mental health professionals. Contact your community health center, local mental health association, or insurance plan to find a mental health professional. Hospital doctors can help in an emergency. If you or someone you know is in crisis, get help quickly. Call your or your loved one's health professional. Call 911 for emergency services. Go to the nearest hospital emergency room. Call the toll-free 24-hour hotline of the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-8255. TYY 1-800-799-4TTY 4889. Reprints. This publication is in the public domain and may be reproduced or copied without permission from NIMH. Citation of NIMH as a source is appreciated. We encourage you to reproduce it and use it in your efforts to improve public health. However, using government materials inappropriately can raise legal or ethical concerns, so we ask you to use these guidelines. NIMH does not endorse or recommend any commercial products, processes, or services, and our publications may not be used for advertising or endorsement purposes. NIMH does not provide specific medical advice or treatment recommendations or referrals. Our materials may not be used in a manner that has the appearance of providing such information. NIMH requests that non-federal organizations not alter our publications in ways that will jeopardize the integrity and brand when using the publication. The addition of non-federal government logos and website links may not have the appearance of NIMH endorsement of any specific commercial products or services, or medical treatments or services. Images used in publications are of models and are used for illustrative purposes only. Use of some images is restricted. If you have questions regarding these guidelines and use of NIMH publications, please contact the NIMH Information Resource Center at 1-866-615-6464 or email nimhinfo.
If you correspond with Ralf on television, video, or telephone, audio, or you chat, text, or email him, you're giving him permission to duplicate it, rebroadcast it on any of the Take Your Life Back Today show broadcasts.
Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides of life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP.